Hey, welcome. I'm Siki and I hope to help you guys out with M1 today. So I'll start out with our first chapter, partial differentiation. So without any further ado, let's get started. So our first topic is function of two or more variables. First off, function of two variables are functions which have two independent variables, here say x or y, and for each set of xy values we get a definite value which we can name it as z, and we can interpret set of x and y values as coordinates of xy plane, and z can be the height. And function of more than two variables go pretty much the same way. So x, y, t, etc. we're taking a lot of variables and we can equate it to z. This is function of more variables. The concepts are pretty much same for both the kind of functions, but you can't represent a function of more than two variables graphically, So before I continue more about this, let's talk about what we already know and what we've already dealt with in elementary calculus, that is function of single variable. These are the functions which have a single independent variable that it depends on. For example, f of x equals to 2x or x minus 3, etc. And if I were to interpret this variable graphically, I can interpret it on the number line, and the domain of this equation is also this number line. So this is the primary difference between both the kinds of functions. Till now we've done a lot of stuff to single variable functions like differentiation, limits, continuity, etc. And we can't do it the same way to function of two or more variables. The method changes a little bit and I'll show you how. For example, let's take a single variable function, say f of x equals to 2x minus y. Since I told that it's a single variable function, y is a constant here, it's not a variable. So if I were to differentiate this equation with respect to x, our answer would be 2 into 1, and since this will be a constant, it will be 0. But if I were taking this equation as a function of two variables, minus y, this is also a variable. We can't consider this as a constant. So if I were to differentiate it, df by dx, this will be the same, and this, it's not a constant, so I can't write it as 0. So this will change. So this is where partial differentiation comes into place. So before I talk about partial differentiation, let's see how limits and continuity differ for function of two or more variables. I'll start out with limits. Let's start off with what we already know, that is limits of single variable functions, which states that for a single variable function f of x, as x approaches c, the limit is L if the limit when it's approached from both left and right sides is L. Which basically means when the limit when it approaches c from the left side is equal to L, and when the limit when x approaches c from right side is equal to L, only then we can tell that limit x tends to c f of x equals to L. If these both are not equal, then limit does not exist. We already know this. But for limits of multivariable functions, here we are taking two variables. So for a function x comma y, when x and y approaches a and b, so then the limit f of x comma y equals to L if and only if the limits from all paths approaching a comma b is equals to L. So for single variable functions, so x is on this number line, right? So c is somewhere here. we're supposed to approach it from both the sides, and from both the sides, if the limit is L, that's when we tell the limit exists. But for multivariable function, or say the two variable functions, it is on the number line. So say here is a comma b, we need to approach it from all the directions, and from every direction, if the limit is always L, that's when this function's limit is L. If not, the limit does not exist. So for limits, when x comma y tends to a comma b, the common paths that we consider to find the limits of those two variables are x equals to a, y equals to b, y equals to x, y equals to x square, and x equals to y square. These are usually the paths we follow. I mean, technically speaking, there are infinite paths, but these are the ones we usually follow. And just like single variable functions, for a couple of function of two variables, all these cases hold. So that's that. Before we get into some examples of limits, let's talk about what continuity means for functions of two or more variables. Now, a function f of x comma y is said to be continuous at a point P when f of x is defined at P, the limit exists, the limit f of x comma y at this point should exist, and limit x y tends to x naught y naught should be equal to f of x naught comma y naught. When all these three conditions are satisfied, that's when we tell this function is continuous, else it's not continuous. Now let's do some exercise problems just to get an idea. So this is our first question. This one, let's try direct substitution. Y equals to 2, so x is 1, y is 2, 1 square plus 2 square plus 1. This is 4, this is 6. So the first one is 2 by 3. We got the answer by direct substitution. Now let's take another sum from the exercise. So this is that. Now if we do direct substitution, we'd get 0 by 0. So direct substitution doesn't work over here. Like I said before, for finding the limits, we can take different paths like these, right? So let's take the third one, y equals to x. So considering the path y equals to x, we get limit x comma x equals to 0 comma 0 because y is equals to x, right? So we can write x, and instead of y we can substitute as x there. So x square plus x square, that is x square by 2x square, and we got 1 by 2. Now let's consider another path, y equals to minus x. Then limit x comma negative x approaches 0 comma 0, and when we substitute, we get it like so. So this is minus x square, this is x square plus x square, that is minus x square by 2x square, and that is minus 1 by 2. As we can see, these both don't match, they differ. So it's not continuous. So the limit does not exist. So go ahead and try a couple of other problems from the exercise. I hope to see you guys in the next topic.